Hello and welcome to our monthly update on what people are watching in the UK. In December, total identified viewing rose by 3% or 7 minutes month on month for an average of 255 minutes daily. This was down 2% on December 2023. In this month's What People Watch, we look at how two successful programmes from the Christmas period can help us understand what's occurring in the world of TV measurement, and why it often makes sense to look beyond overnight and 7-day audiences to understand a show's success. The last ever episode of Gavin and Stacey was watched by a substantial audience of 12.4 million on TV sets on Christmas Day itself. But this figure is a little over half the story. The audience had grown past 20 million by January the 5th, well beyond the 19.2 million figure after 7 days. At the same time, the audience away from the TV set approached 750,000 by New Year's Day. Note that these figures include viewing non-TV broadband-only homes. Similarly, the overnight audience to Squid Game's second series on Netflix was 1.4 million for episode 1. Having reached 4.6 million at 7 days, the audience extended to 6.1 million by January 14th. Note that these figures combine those watching in English or Korean and are TV set only. For those analysing viewing data, aside from being careful about which homes are included in your figures, there is an irony in that the ability of the viewer to watch what they want almost instantly and at a time of their choosing means that we need to be more patient in waiting for audiences to build to their fullest. Audiences building in this way is also not limited to the holiday season. Red Eye on ITV1 achieved an audience of over 2 million in the 21 days after the 7-day window earlier this year, while Ellis on Channel 5 was close to 1 million and After Party on Channel 4 topped 750,000 after the 7-day window. Nor is this limited to broadcasters. Some Bridgerton audiences more than doubled over 28 days on Netflix compared to 7 days, while the same could be said of Clarkson's Farm on Amazon. And that's without mentioning pre-broadcast audiences for the broadcast channels. However, and returning to Christmas, while we do need to be mindful of changes to viewing habits, change rarely goes in a straight line. Before Christmas, we published an article that highlighted audience fragmentation in the form of a falling number of programmes achieving an audience over 1 million on Christmas Day itself. With two giant audiences on December 25th, lest we forget Wallace and Gromit, we might have expected this trend to accelerate. However, Christmas Day 2024 showed a distinct rollback, with 37 programmes passing the 1 million mark, 5 more than in 2023, as you can see on the right of the chart here. This does not mean fragmentation is reversing. That figure is still far behind the 2014 and 2015 figures, but it's a useful reminder that change is not as neat as we might like to think. So, are audiences more past the parcel than the instant hit of a Christmas present? Well, for good or bad, once the wrapping is removed, you know what you've got on Christmas. Past the parcel, on the other hand, builds. You have an idea of the scale of the gift, but, Bluey reference for the parents here, unless you're playing Lucky's dad's rules, each layer of wrapping removed reveals a small present, or extra viewing. It's not until all the layers are removed that we see the final present or audience. Of course, the wonderful variety of programming on our screens means that multiple kinds of analysis have their place, but it's increasingly beyond overnights and even 7 days that we should be thinking.